welcome to another edition of Lab Rats. My name is Andy Walker.
I'm Sean Carruthers.
And this is a show that teaches you how to use your technology effectively, demystifies all those weird buzzwords, and hopefully will make you giggle along the way. Like that. Today on the show...
Maybe not exactly like that.
Well, I think it's going to be... A lot of people are tittering out there at you right now. Because you're funny. All right, we're going to speed up your PC today. Today we're going to go have a look at your machine, make it go faster, because over time it may start to appear like this. And what you really want to do is have it perform like this. Yeah, that's right. Efficiency on your desktop. So
I think I just busted a tube doing that.
Try not to get a hernia. All right, so we're going to show you tips, tricks on how to do that. Off the top, we're going to show you how to do it easily and quickly, and then later on, a few geekier tips and tricks, okay? All right, but first we have to pay our bills, so we're going to take a message from our sponsor. We're going to listen to them with their commercials. When we come back, how to speed up your PC. Today on Lab Rats. Now, this is an episode that you can follow along with for either a PC or a Mac. Most of these tips are going to be fairly straightforward in terms of for both platforms, although we'll call them out if there's something that's specific to one platform or the other.
Yes.
So let's start with the easy peasy stuff, the easy tips that you can do to instantaneously start improving the performance of your PC right away.
Yes. Well, I think we need to explain first why this happens.
Well, that's true. Good
Why
point.
does this happen?
Why does your machine get slower and slower? Like the day you buy it from you bring it home from the store, it's running real quick, and all of a sudden, a year later, not so much.
Yeah. And part of this is partly psychological, because you probably have seen other computers that are a bit faster, but a lot of it is it's really happening. It's really slowing down your machine.
That's right.
From years and years of use and installing stuff and gunk, things you're not using, running out of space. Some of it is just your hardware getting older, and you can't really do a ton about that, but there's a lot of stuff you can do to help fix things up.
Right, absolutely, good. So let's start with, so you're going to be installing software, right? So you're going to go on to a website, and you're going to download something, you're going to try it out, maybe a game or something like that, or a utility. And then you're going to, well, I don't really want to use this.
Do that all the time.
Right, but you're not going to uninstall it, you're just going to leave it there. And what's happened is when you install a program, it puts stuff into your registry, which is an area in Windows, for example, that manages all the settings and stuff like that. It's going to put stuff in your startup area, and it's actually going to put programs on your hard drive. So it's already starting to pollute your system, and that's going to slow things down, because every time the computer starts up, it's going to run a routine and do all kinds of little, like kind of maintenance routines and things like that. And so, over a period of time, when you install enough programs, your computer's going to get full of stuff.
Yep, and a lot of them, you said you installed it and you're not using it, but it's still using some of those system resources by doing that, by just being there on your system. So
tip number one, and that's the Mac and the PC.
Uninstall things you're not using.
Right, absolutely. Now I'll show you real quick on how to do that on Windows Vista. It's very similar on Windows XP. I'm going to type in programs here. And I think it's actually add remove programs in Windows XP.
It is.
Yeah.
So you get to that from the control panel.
Control panel, exactly. And we're going to basically, this will show all the files that are installed on the system. And then you're just going to basically go through them one by one, select the ones that you just know that you're not going to use. Yeah,
look at all that stuff sitting there.
Look at I've got an amazing amount of stuff in here.
So it's taking up hard drive space and system resources and memory.
So I'm going to click on Audacity as a sound editor I don't use at the moment, right? I'm going to go up here and say uninstall. And next thing you know, it's going to say, do you want to remove all that stuff? And I'm going to say, yeah, and that's going to be gone from the system. So you should go through, take 5 or 10 minutes and go through and remove everything. Now your system may want to reboot, but let it do that. Now on the Mac side of things, what do you need to do in terms of this?
In general, you just take the program that you want and throw it off into the trash. Now if you want to make sure that you're getting absolutely everything, there are other utilities out there like App Zapper that you can use that will not only find the program, but all the associated files that go with that, and it'll just get them all off at the same time. So it'll take it out of the system, the library, it'll take it out of the actual applications folder, and all of it will be gone.
Very good. Okay, good. Next tip, I think we should probably organize our hard drive. So you think about, so we're going to talk about defragmenter here. And the way to think about defragmenter and cleaning up your hard drive from this perspective is this. Imagine that you have a closet, right? And it's empty. And you start to put clothes in there. And then you want to put a couple of books in there. And you want to put a couple of boxes in there. And then over time, it's nice and tidy in there. But over time, you go in, you take a box out, and you put something in its place, and you take some clothes out, you put something in its place, and it suddenly becomes all messy, right? And nothing is really where it's supposed to be.
Yeah, and parts of your outfit, for example, might be in different places all over the place. So you want to get that outfit, but hey, it's over here, here, there, and the other place.
Right, and that would be called fragmented in the world of computers.
Do you wear outfits?
I do wear outfits. Well, you've seen from other recent episodes, I have all kinds of outfits. So the idea is you want to speed up, when the machine goes in to get a program, you want it to go to one place so it retrieves it quickly and not have to go all over the hard drive to grab the various pieces. So we run a routine called defragmentation, and built into Windows XP is a defragmenter, built into, which you have to run. You go find that in System Tools. Built into Windows Vista is actually a built-in defragmenter, and it does it automatically, actually. And I think that's the case on the Mac these days, too.
The Mac file system, because it's based on a Linux or Unix kernel, it doesn't actually treat the disk in exactly the same way. So fragmentation isn't so much an issue until you get way down to like the last few megabytes of your hard drive. So you don't really have to worry about that so much on the Mac. There are tools out there that you can use if you want to go in there and defragment it. Every time you install a program that way, we'll optimize the disk after installing.
Okay. On Windows Vista, you want to go into your start bar here and type defrag, and there'll be a program that will come up that says disk defragmenter, as you can see it right here. And I can say defragment now, and it'll start the routine. I'll choose a disk. I want to choose your C disk, and just let it run, and that will take a few hours depending on how big your hard drive is. But you want to let it do that, and do that once a month. Once every 6 weeks, something along those lines. Unless you're deleting and adding lots and lots of files.
Yeah, you don't have. Some people say do it every day or do it every week. I wouldn't necessarily recommend that, because what you're going to do is you're really going to take a toll on your hard drive's mechanics if you're using one of those old things. Right. With the spinning disk.
Now, one of the critical things that actually slows down your system is something called malware, or malicious software, and specifically, so both a virus and spyware will actually slow down your system, because it's using all kinds of system resources, it's talking to the internet, it's running in the background without you knowing. So it's a very, very good idea to do a virus scan on a regular basis, which you are doing, right? But also a spyware check as well. And built into Windows XP, into Windows Vista is a program called Windows Defender, which is a free spyware checker, which as rule number one, you should use that on a fairly regular basis. You could add a program called Spybot Search and Destroy, or a commercial anti-spyware product, which I highly recommend you do as well, because that one program won't catch everything. But you should run that on at least a spyware check once a month, just to see if there's any spyware, because you want to remove that. That'll instantaneously speed up your system.
Yes.
Now on the Mac side, not so much.
Not so big an issue.
Right. No. Spyware historically has not been a plague on the Mac platform. Yeah. And you don't, although you should have an antivirus product plugged into the Mac, he doesn't think you do. But
no, if you treat it responsibly and never install things that it asks you to install out of nowhere. I mean, this is the thing. Vista has started authenticating. Every time you want to do something, it asks you, are you sure you want to do this? This has always been the case with Mac OS X. It'll actually ask you, are you sure you want to do this? Or type in your password here. Okay. So, and if you don't do it when you're not expecting it, then you're probably going to be fine. Now, this could change in the future, but up until this point, there's been no real serious viruses or spyware on the Mac, unless you actually go out of your way to infect yourself. So don't worry about that too much.
All right. So not if your Mac is slow, that's probably not because of malicious software.
Yeah, and putting an antivirus program on either machine can actually slow it down as well. It will slow it down because it'll take up system resources. Right. So that's a little bit of a performance hit, but it'll keep you a little bit safer. So
good. Just want to mention real quick, Windows Defender is available to you from Microsoft.com/Defender, I believe it is.
It is.
And you can download that for free for your fully licensed version of Windows XP. It comes pre-installed on Windows Vista. You just have to type in Defender in the start bar to actually find it and launch it, run the scan. Okay, let's move on to something slightly more advanced now.
Yes.
So let's start talking about perhaps a hardware upgrade.
Yeah, well, the number one thing you can do to increase the performance of your system is add RAM. I mean, all of these other things, the little software tweaks and all that, that'll give you tiny little bits, but a lot of today's new software is really, really intensive. It demands a lot of system resources, and the RAM that you had in your system, there's just system memory where it keeps track of what's going on right now as you're running your machine. It's eating up a little bit more of it until all of it is gone. And then what happens is the computer starts going into virtual memory, which is basically swapping information back and forth from your physical memory onto the hard drive, which really slows things down. So the quickest way you can do this is to actually install RAM. So on this, it works the same way on a notebook as it does on a PC. You just go in there into the slot, you slide the side off of your desktop machine, or you can slide the little compartment header off of your notebook. In this case, we're just taking the screws off of my MacBook, and there you go. You have access to these sticks of RAM. Now, what I did is I took the system memory that I got with this machine, which was a couple of gigabytes of RAM from Apple, and I've replaced it with two 2-gigabyte sticks from Otherworld Computing.
Okay.
And I mean, you don't have to buy system RAM from the manufacturer. You don't have to get it from HP, or you don't have to get it from Apple. You just have to make sure that the specifications match.
Okay, very good. And what's the cost?
About $100 for this 4 gigabytes. So it really depends on the size of the stick you're getting. It's so cheap you don't really have to think about it. Now Kingston.com and Crucial.com both have RAM configuration tools, so you can look up your machine on there, find out what sticks will fit into your machine, and make sure that they're actually compatible.
Very good. Okay, good. The other thing I want to mention on Windows Vista in terms of RAM, you should probably have a minimum of 1 gigabyte on any Windows system. You can probably get away with 512 megabytes on an XP system. And ideally, if you're going to run anything in terms of photo editing, video editing, you need more than 2 gigabytes to get good performance out of this. Now, you could do a little scan on Windows Vista if you have a copy of that. There's something called Performance Information Tools, and it actually gives you an index and shows you what the weak points in your hardware are. So if you click on your Start button and you type in Performance, you'll see an item that pops up. This is Performance and Information Tools. And then you want to run a little application here, and I'm going to actually run it right now, and it'll give you a rating as to which pieces of hardware is the slowest performing in your entire system, so you can see what the shortcomings are on the system. So that's worth doing as well. Okay. And then let's get into some geekier things, shall we? So one of the things that we always advocate here on LabRats is to actually go into your startup area in the registry and clean out any programs that don't need to run at startup, because they're going to sit in memory the entire session that you're running, when you're using your computer. Yeah. So one of the things that I like to use is something called MS-config, or Microsoft configuration tool.
Yeah, and this has been built into Windows for quite some time now.
Yeah, you'll find it on XP. You'll find it on Windows Vista.
And even before that, in some cases, it was on 98, but not on Windows 2000.
There you go. Good. So I'm going to run this here. You type in MS-config into the Start search area on Windows Vista. In Windows XP, you're going to go Start Run MS-config. And the program's going to start up here. Let's see if we can fire it up for a second. I'm going to show you. So it's called System Configuration Tool. You want to go all the way over to the Startup tab here, and you're going to see a list of all the programs that start up when your computer boots. Now here's the secret. There's a little secret to this. You can actually turn everything off. You don't need anything to really start up, in the startup area. It's generally things like if I look at this here, my wireless card applet. Does it need to run? Not necessarily, because it's an add-on. It's a Dell add-on. Adobe Acrobat, iTunes Updater. Those can all be turned off. And you can be very selective if you want. If you're not really sure about this process, be selective. Turn off stuff that you recognize doesn't need to run.
Now, on a notebook, you have to be a bit careful about this, because if you're using some of the extra buttons, like the media control buttons or special one-touch launch buttons, turning everything off will probably turn those things off as well. So your trackpad helper, all of that stuff. But definitely things like the QuickTime helper, the iTunes helper, things like that are just more designed to start the programs faster, have part of them residing in memory when you are running, so that when you say go, it just goes bang, and there it is, rather than taking 2 minutes to launch.
Got it. So go through that. The other place you want to look at too is the Services tab on MS-config, and again a little bit more sensitive. Here I would say, click on Hide All Microsoft Services, because a service is something that's maybe built into Windows that actually runs and creates something that's necessary to run in Windows. So click on that Hide All Microsoft Services to see the third-party services that are running, and then selectively and turn those things off.
So maybe your printer utility and all that other stuff.
Right. There you go. Good.
Now there's a turbocharged version of this as well, available from Microsoft.com/sysinternals, called AutoRuns. Right. And it's essentially MS-config with a lot of extra options. It gives you a big big page where you can configure everything all in one shot rather than going through tabs and trying to figure out what things are with pull downs.
Very good. So you can download that. That's free, right? It's free from Microsoft.
That is free from Microsoft.com/sysinternals. And on the Mac, there's actually a place under user accounts when you go into the control panel, the system preferences page. Click on accounts, click on the account that you want, and there's a thing called login items that will, when you log in, it'll fire that up into memory as well. So you can actually save a little bit of memory and system resources by unchecking those things, removing them from your
on the Mac side.
Startup. Yes.
Very good. Okay, there you go. So that's in a nutshell is the key things that you can do to speed up your computer, you know, check out the links we've posted here on the show to get all the applicable programs and things like that. Okay, so let's take a break.
Yes.
And when we come back, I think we have more pictures, don't we?
We do have more pictures. They're speedy pictures. Speedy
pictures, because they're sped up now. We've defragmented everything on this show, and now it's going to run really fast.
Yes.
Okay, we'll be back after this. Now, one of the things you could do, of course, is not bother with all the geeky stuff and rely on a piece of software to speed up your PC.
Really?
Yes, you can. Apparently, there are people out there that make software that make it faster.
This sounds like a segue.
Well, actually, Miss Download Cheryl Poirier is here today again to show you a program that will help you with all this stuff. One button goodness. Click, 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 and it's all speed. So let's take a break and see what she's up to. When we come back, picture time.
Hi, welcome to Miss Download. I'm Cheryl. Have you ever set your computer to task and it takes so long, it's like you can't even look at it, you have to turn away. It's like, just tell me when you're done. That happens to me sometimes. So I wanted to find a program to speed up my computer. And I found one. It is called Speed Up My PC 2009. Very easy to remember. And it is a really quick download, and it is actually a really easy program to use. It does have a free trial, but if you buy the program, it's $29.99. The free trial will only let you clean up like junk files. And junk files are like temporary files, which really doesn't speed up your computer that much. So this is what the initial page looks like. So we're just going to click on Start Scan, and it's just going to scan my computer for all kinds of, junk files, privacy files, network tweaks, window tweaks, startup tweaks, and you'll see this is, wow, what's wrong with my computer? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down here in the bottom right-hand corner and click on Optimize All. And what's that? That's just going to clean my computer and speed up my PC, which is exactly what it's going to do. Now, it's a really, really easy program, and that's it. Like, we're done. But the reason why I like this program is I kind of liken my computer to my car. I love driving my car, and I love it when my car works well. When my car doesn't work well, I just want to take it to the mechanic and have him fix the problem. I don't care what the problem is, as long as he fixes it. I don't even want to know how he fixes it. So with my computer, I love working on my computer, and I love when it works well. When it doesn't work well, I just want my computer mechanic to fix it. That's what I call this program. I call it my computer mechanic. And when I find a mechanic that I trust, I share it with my friends. So that's why I'm letting you know about Speed Up My PC 2009, because it is my trusted computer mechanic, and I love it. So check it out at Miss Download at butterscotch.com. My name is Cheryl Poirier, and happy driving.
Well, there you go. So that's very nice. Speed Up My PC. It's super fun.
My PC is all sped up.
Very
I don't
good.
have one.
All right, well, now we're going to speedily look at pictures.
Yes.
Do we have some speedy viewers?
We do.
Wow.
And in the spirit of this program, we're going to get through these in 5 seconds or less.
Lickety-split.
All right, so
All right.
First up, we have Amar from Saudi Arabia. Really happy that we have viewers from all around the world.
That's
Thank
right.
you, Amar, for sending us
Saudi
along.
Arabia. Awesome.
There you go.
Very good.
And we also have Nick from Trinidad.
Wow.
There you go.
It's like the Picture Time, the International Edition.
And I love these pictures with the backgrounds. You can see, not only you, but your geography as well. I love that, especially if you're coming from somewhere that's not
It's
Toronto.
not Toronto.
Yes. Okay, I think we went over our 5-second deadline there.
Okay.
All right. From Norway, we have Stig, his dog Aiko.
Oh.
And unfortunately, Aiko has recently passed on.
Oh.
So this is a bit of a tribute to Aiko. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, Stig. So
Oh.
there you go.
Aiko.
And you went over 5 seconds, but I think we can give the dog a little bit more than 5.
Absolutely. Okay,
All
well,
right.
we are dedicating, see, Biff's even likes it.
Yep.
Biff's dedicating this episode to Ico.
Yes.
All right, well, thank you for
All
your
right.
pictures. We always love to see you and your pets.
Oh, we got more.
Oh, we got more.
We got more. We got more
Okay.
very quickly. Our friend Ryan in Minnesota did some alternative artwork for us. He did both you and me.
Very good.
There we go. So
Wow.
we'll incorporate this into a Lab Rats logo at some point.
If
that's okay
very
with you,
cool.
Ryan.
Yeah, I love it. Very good.
And last but not least, very quickly, our viewer Nathan's desktop. We asked to see what your desktop was. This is Nathan's.
Very cool.
There you go. A nice big one, too. I like it.
Very good.
Now,
Okay.
now we're done.
Now we're done. All right. Well, we love to see your pictures, and we love to see you and your pets and your desktops and all your technology and stuff like that. So please send it to
Your picture on LabRats in 5 seconds or less, or it's free at labrats.tv.
or
Feedback at labrats.tv. You make me read the boring one. I don't like that.
No. So sad. All right. Well, that's not the fastest episode ever, but it's at least will make you faster, your PC fast.
Yes.
Hopefully, you'll download stuff faster, and then you can see more of us, which is always good. Well, that's it for us. My name is Andy Walker,
I'm Sean Carruthers.
and we're Lab Rats. We will see you next time. Bye.
Are you ready? Try this at home.
Thank you.
They're dismantling the studio here.
Oops.
Should we wait for the beeping to stop?
Yeah, I think so. It's like right out the window here. Come on, take a look.
It's making me mad. Look.
Contracted vehicle. Oh, there we go. Contractors.
Oh, that's why. Well, what can you do? What can you do? Can't do anything. Everything's beeping these days.
Yeah, when this is over, I'll miss the beeping, actually.
That's right. Today, welcome to the show. There's no beeping today. I'm going to close the window. Oh, he's going now. Go away!